In 1914, explorer Ernest Shackleton set out on an ambitious mission to become the first to cross Antarctica by land. But instead of triumph, Shackleton and his 27-man crew found themselves facing an unthinkable fight for survival. How did they survive against impossible odds when all seemed lost? This is the incredible story of Shackleton's 18-month struggle for survival in Antarctica. If you're fascinated by such survival stories, don't forget to like and subscribe for more incredible tales. Now let's dive into the story. As always, listen closely. You never know when this knowledge might save your life. Chapter 1: The Imperial Trans-Antarctic Expedition. Ernest Shackleton was no stranger to the harshness of polar exploration. By 1914, he had already led multiple expeditions to Antarctica, earning a reputation for unbreakable determination and exceptional leadership. His ambition to become the first to cross Antarctica from coast to coast pushed him to launch the Imperial Trans-Antarctic Expedition, a journey that would test both his crew and himself to their limits. Shackleton and his carefully selected crew of 27 men embarked on the ship Endurance, setting sail from South Georgia Island on December 5, 1914. They were well equipped with supplies, 69 sled dogs, and a sense of adventure that carried them into the icy waters of the Weddell Sea. As the crew sailed deeper into the Antarctic, they were entranced by the stark beauty of the landscape, towering glaciers, vast ice fields, and an endless horizon of pristine white. Their spirits soared, trusting Shackleton's leadership and their collective strength. Under his command, they believed no obstacle could stand in their way. But as they marveled at the beauty around them, the Antarctic began to tighten its grip. The men were about to discover that this frozen wilderness was far more treacherous than they could have imagined. Chapter 2: Trapped in the Ice. By January 1915, Endurance encountered thick, impenetrable pack ice. At first, Shackleton and his men skillfully navigated through the gaps in the floes, but soon the ice began to close in around them. Their progress slowed until the ship was finally locked in place, gripped tightly by the frozen sea. Shackleton, ever the optimist, hoped that warmer temperatures would eventually free the ship. But as the days turned into weeks, the men realized that the ice was not going to release them. Instead, they drifted aimlessly, trapped by the relentless ice pack, prisoners of the frozen sea in one of the most remote and hostile environments on Earth. Shackleton knew that the crew's mental well-being was just as crucial as their physical survival. He established a strict routine to keep the men occupied and their spirits high. They cared for the sled dogs, maintained the ship, and passed the time with games and creative activities. Shackleton's calm demeanor and unwavering optimism became the crew's lifeline. He knew that to survive, they needed to remain united, focused, and resilient. As the Antarctic winter set in, the sun disappeared below the horizon, plunging the men into months of unbroken darkness. The endless night and freezing temperatures, which dropped below -20 degrees Fahrenheit, tested the men's endurance. The Endurance groaned under the weight of the ice as the pressure mounted. Still, Shackleton remained a pillar of strength, constantly reminding his men that survival depended on their ability to persevere together. Chapter 3: Abandoned Ship. As winter gave way to spring, the ice began to shift and crack, but not in their favor. Instead of loosening its hold on the ship, the pressure from the ice floes increased. By October 1915, the strain on the Endurance became unbearable. The wooden beams groaned under the immense pressure, and the ship began to break apart. Shackleton and his crew worked frantically to reinforce the hull, but their efforts were no match for the relentless ice. On October 27th, the ice began to crush the ship in earnest. The Endurance twisted and buckled, its timbers snapping like gunshots. Shackleton gave the inevitable order: abandon ship. The men scrambled to salvage whatever they could: food, lifeboats, navigational instruments, before retreating onto the ice. They worked tirelessly, hauling everything they could from the wreckage, knowing that their lives now depended on these supplies. On November 21st, the Endurance finally succumbed to the ice, sinking beneath the frozen sea. The men stood in stunned silence, watching as the last remnants of their expedition disappeared into the depths. It wasn't just the ship that was lost. It was their last tangible connection to the world beyond the ice. With the ship gone, Shackleton gathered his men and calmly laid out their new objective: survival. Their bold mission to cross the Antarctic was over. Now, they would march across the ice in search of open water where they could launch the lifeboats and attempt to reach land. Shackleton's resolve became their guiding light. The ship may have been lost, but under his leadership, the men never lost hope. Chapter 4: Shackleton's Daring Rescue Mission. With the Endurance gone and the Antarctic wilderness threatening their survival, Shackleton knew that staying on the drifting ice meant certain death. After months of dragging lifeboats across the ice, the crew finally reached open water and launched their small vessels into the freezing Southern Ocean. After 6 perilous days at sea, they reached the barren shores of Elephant Island on April 15, 1916. Though the men were relieved to stand on solid ground again, Elephant Island was isolated, uninhabited, and rarely visited. Shackleton knew they were still far from rescue. Their only hope was a daring mission across the Southern Ocean to South Georgia Island, nearly 800 miles away, where a whaling station offered the possibility of salvation. On April 24, 1916, Shackleton selected 5 men to accompany him aboard the James Caird, a 22-foot lifeboat. With limited provisions and facing nearly impossible odds, they set off into some of the most treacherous waters on Earth. Gale force winds, freezing temperatures, and towering waves battered them day and night. But Shackleton's leadership and Worsley's skilled navigation became their lifelines in the unforgiving sea. For 16 days, the small crew battled exhaustion, frostbite, and constant threats from the towering waves. Yet Shackleton's unwavering determination and Worsley's precise navigation kept them on course. They knew that failure meant the death of everyone left behind on Elephant Island, so they pressed on with every ounce of strength they had. Chapter 5: The Rescue. On May 8, 1916, after 16 grueling days at sea, Shackleton and his crew sighted the rugged peaks of South Georgia Island. Their relief was overwhelming, but they weren't out of danger yet. Gale force winds prevented them from landing for 2 agonizing days. When they finally reached shore, they found themselves on the wrong side of the island, separated from the whaling station by impassable mountains and glaciers. With no time to waste, Shackleton, Worsley, and Tom Crean set off on foot, determined to cross the treacherous terrain and reach help. For 36 hours, they navigated snowfields, glaciers, and steep inclines with only rudimentary equipment. Exhausted, frostbitten, and running on sheer willpower, they finally stumbled into the whaling station at Stromness on May 20th, 1916. The men were gaunt, frostbitten, and barely recognizable, but they were alive. Shackleton immediately organized the rescue of the 3 men left on the other side of South Georgia, before turning his attention to the rest of his crew stranded on Elephant Island. Despite multiple attempts to break through the ice, previous rescue ships had been blocked from reaching them, but Shackleton refused to give up. Finally, on August 30th, 1916, the Chilean ship Yelcho succeeded in breaking through the ice. Shackleton's men on Elephant Island, led by Frank Wild, had held out for 128 days, never losing hope. When the rescue ship arrived, all 22 men were alive. Shackleton's extraordinary rescue mission remains one of the most remarkable feats of survival and leadership in history. Though their original expedition to cross Antarctica failed, the safe return of every crew member was a testament to Shackleton's leadership and the power of human resilience. We hope you found Shackleton's incredible survival story as captivating as we did. If you enjoyed this video, Be sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe for more astonishing survival stories. And before you go, check out these 2 videos that dive into more unbelievable tales of resilience and survival. Until next time, stay curious and stay strong.